in terms of like supplementing your jiu-jitsu, what do you do to support your jiu-jitsu in terms of your regimen?
It's been like a wave my whole career. It depends on how much extra time and extra money and extra energy I have. Right now, for the last several years, I go to a place called Power Zone Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and really great coach. He started as a physical therapist, but by training. That's what he studied at university, and then he got into, he met with Pavel and got into the kettlebells, and now I think the program is Strong First.
Right.
That's the current iteration of what Pavel's doing, and it's great because they do kettlebells, they do barbells, they do body weight. And he has a really good way of making sure that mobility and strength never get out of balance. So using those three, your gymnastic type stuff, body weight type stuff, barbells, and kettlebells. So we work on strength, and if it's getting a little better, then we go mobility, strength, mobility. Always keeping, you get in trouble when you're very strong but stiff, or hypermobile, hyperflexible, but not strong enough to support it, right? So he's very good about that. And then, and just like jiu-jitsu, I mean, saying that weight training is good or bad, or yoga is good or bad, there's a lot of good jiu-jitsu, there's a lot of horrible jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And you need to find a good coach, right? So I'm blessed with a very good strength and conditioning coach, a few very excellent yoga teachers.
Oh, you do yoga?
Yeah, so I would, I did yoga 7 days a week for a couple of years, and I just felt like it was wonderful, but my strength was a little bit lacking. There's yoga, you have to be strong to do yoga properly, but
there's core strength and
but there's no pulling motions, right? And there's some things that it's lacking. So I've dialed that back, and ideally I would be, basically Monday, Wednesday, Friday at Power Zone, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday at yoga, and Sundays off. And then jiu-jitsu, minimum would be 4 days a week. And then sometimes if I have extra time, I'll do 5 or 6 days a week.
Yeah, I remember something you said about your jiu-jitsu frequency now has probably tailed off a little bit because your jiu-jitsu's, it's advanced and tight, so you don't have to train as much of it. Whereas I'd imagine earlier in your career you was training a lot more jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, there's a time when you really don't need separate strength and conditioning. I think because you're inefficient. And so jiu-jitsu, you don't have the technique, and so it's not. I never deliberately use strength, and I'm not a super strong person. But you simply don't have enough technique not to use strength early on.
Okay.
And so there were times when it was just better for me to train jiu-jitsu every day because I was, between the warm-ups and the sparring, the warm-ups are hard no matter what, and then the sparring was hard because I lacked the technique I have today.
Yeah.
But as I became more technical, I could do jiu-jitsu every day and not really have a strength and conditioning component.
I like the fact that you said about mobility too, because I do believe, especially as if you look at what are the causes of mortality, because I'm big into biohacking and longevity. The causes of mortality to me are high body inflammation, so that's all about diet and making sure you eat healthy and stuff like that, whole foods diet. But the next one is, as you get older, you will get weaker.
Yes.
So maintaining strength so that you don't have, it's like bone density and strength and some muscle. It's like a bank balance to me.
I agree.
The longer you can keep it, the better it's going to support you. And the other one is mobility, which you get stiffer.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so I'm glad you said mobility.
Oh, it's huge.
It's like when you train a squat, right? Everyone does back squat. And when you watch these people that back squat loads, if all they've ever done is back squat, and then next minute you do a single leg exercise and they're wobbling all over the place, and they've got no strength on say a Bulgarian split squat, single leg.
Right.
Because you haven't worked on mobility and lateral strength. When you do a back squat, you can compensate if you've got a bad hip. The other hip could do a bit more, and
for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
And like I said, I'm blessed to have a really good coach who balances
understands that.
Oh yeah, we do a lot of mobility work, a lot of balance work.
Yeah.
To me, it's just a very thorough program. I mean, just trying to be a power lifter and increase back squat, bench, and deadlift.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like at some, powerlifting is a sport unto itself.
Ego lifting.
Right. Well, if that's your sport, that's your sport. But if you're talking about health and longevity in general and for jiu-jitsu, there's a point at which, it's going to be different for everybody. But if you can, you can squat and deadlift twice your body weight. If you can bench press your body weight, you're not strong by those guys' standards.
Oh, it's a totally different
but it's
set
enough.
of muscles.
But it's enough. When I do strength and conditioning or when I do yoga, I always make sure my guys know this. I've lost many times in jiu-jitsu, but I've never lost and thought, if I just had a bigger bench press, I would have won. Or if I could do the splits, I would have won. It's for health and longevity in life and jiu-jitsu, but it doesn't make my jiu-jitsu better.